Hey guys, Jason here, Samco Tradbo. Today we're going to do a little more talking here. So this video, if you want to do something else and just play the audio, you're welcome to. It's going to be me sitting here. I'm on my porch, favorite place to be. It's late at night, not much going on. I like to come out here, relax, usually bring a pop with me to drink and just soak up the outside air. And we're going to chat just a little bit while we're doing it. And today what we're going to be talking about is wounded and missing animals and the reality of this kind of stuff. We got to understand that this is a reality and it's going to happen. Both of them happen. I don't care what weapon you shoot. I don't care if it's a crossbow, a compound, what it is. I think if you want to, even gun hunters wound a lot of animals and miss animals. It's just a reality of it when you have deflections that happen and you have yardage misjudgments and you have animals movement, which many people don't realize. But if you're in my Patreon channel, I have something like 85, almost 85 or 90 by now, of shots where it's filmed right over my arrow, you know, from my GoPro right here as I shoot these animals or shoot even at these animals when I miss. And you can see the deflections. You can see as I put them in really slow motion, you can watch that that animal's here and that arrow's going perfect, and then the animal moves out of the way and things happen and misses or even worse. So there's so many variables to this that you can't even see with your naked eye. I can't tell you how many times that I've shot a deer and I'm like, oh, I missed right over his back. But then I go and I play these videos back, and again, with it not being off on a camera arm where it's over here on the side or something like that where the angle is skewed, but where it's shot right over my head, literally that far above the arrow when I shoot at these things, and you watch that, you can see real time that I cannot even see with my naked eye. That arrow, boom, and it's going and it's halfway there and it's perfect, and all of a sudden that deer just drops down and the arrow goes right over his back and he comes right back up and takes off. But it looks like, it almost looks like I blew right through him, but you shot over top of them. It's amazing how these things happen and the reality of it. So that's what we want to drive home. The season is getting ready to start here for you guys. It just opened up for small game yesterday. Was out hog hunt yesterday. Made a perfect shot on a hog. It was in 10 yards. Perfect double lung hit. Watch him go 25 yards, fall over. I got the game bag right here cleaning. I just got done bleaching it and drying it out right now, ready to use again. This is the perfect scenario that we hope for. Yet it's not always the way it really works. Okay, I have said in other videos I have missed well over 100 animals. Now I've also killed. I've got to be close to. I got to be getting close to the 300 mark. I don't even keep track anymore, but I got to be close to the 300 mark of big game animals here. But I've missed. I mean, I know I've missed at least 100. So let's just call it 100 and 300. That's 25% almost of shots at animals that I have missed. Okay, it is a reality, and it's not so much because I'm a traditional bow hunter. Okay, that's not the case. I keep all my shots inside of 20 yards, and for me to miss stuff at 10 yards, buck fever plays a role. There's some things that come into there. I get shaky and things like that happen, but point being, there's a lot of variables that can come into it. So I don't care what weapon you're using. Rifle, compound, crossbow. You rifle hunters are, oh, I'd never miss with a rifle. You never hunted in the woods then, because in the woods there are sticks and things like that you don't even see, that you don't even know about, that happen, that can deflect a bullet, deflect an arrow, deflect a bolt. And again, the movement of animals I've shown in other videos, even on this channel when I made that one, I don't remember what I called it, but I talked about the movement, animal movements during a shot. But I showed on a 20-yard shot on a hog, the arrow being halfway there, and that hog completely aiming this way and going right for that front shoulder. So you can see it again over my head. Perfect flight, headed right there, and then that hog picks his head up, realizes something isn't right, and moved his whole body out of the way inside of a 20-yard shot with a traditional bow. So like I said, now fortunately he got all the way out of the way. Had my bow not been shooting 720 grain arrows out of a 57-pound hill style longbow and my little baby 25 and a half, 26-inch draw, who knows where that, you know, if it would have been a faster combo, maybe he wouldn't have got all the way and it would have been a gut shot. Okay, so there's a lot of variables that come into play, good and bad. But point being is that misses are going to happen, wounds are going to happen, bad things can happen. It is the reality of this sport. It's what we do with that afterwards that makes all the difference. Okay, this is the key. This is what lets you sleep at night. You know, I mean, yes, it sucks to wound an animal and to have that animal die and that be there. I looked up the statistic one time for something else I did. It was about a year ago, but I believe it's 1.5 million deer are killed by cars in the United States every single year. 1.5 million deer are killed by cars every year, left to rot on the road, to just swell up in the heat, bulk out, and just wither away till some truck comes and picks it up or kicks it off the road. Maybe a few birds eat it after, right before dark. But I mean, they're wasted. 1.5 million of them. Okay, it's just a reality of what the world is, and there's nothing you can do about it. But your animals, we can do something about it. So my best advice to you is two things. When it comes to the shots, keep your shots close. Keep them close. I don't care what weapon you're using. I don't care what you see on the Outdoor Channel. I don't care what you see on the internet. And I don't care what your friends are doing. I cannot give anybody any respect that is taking 70-yard shots at deer or antelope or any of that stuff. And these guys are the mule deer hunters that are shooting deer with traditional bows at 40 yards and are using, well, you can't get any closer out here. I can't condone it. I just can't do it. I'm sorry, but I cannot get behind shooting at a deer at 40 yards. Okay, every animal is different and things are different scenarios and things like that. And I understand that, but keep your shots close, regardless of the weapon. By keeping them close, you are able to see any sticks and deflection things that could possibly jump out at you. You are able to understand the movement and the behavior of the animal. You are there, you are in it, and you have less chances of missing or wounding or things going wrong. The animal's moving out of the way naturally, whether they jump the string or they just decide that they already ate that acorn, now they want this acorn, and they turn that body or whatever happens. Keep your shot distances close. Now, what happens, and when you miss, laugh about it, let it go. Let it go. Some you guys have said in my comments that a miss is the second best outcome you can have. And that's a perfect way of saying it. A miss truly is the second best outcome you can have. The best one is you actually killing the animal and bringing it home. The next worst one is the miss that's there. And then the next worst one after that is you actually wounding that deer and not being able, well, actually the next worst one would be you making a superficial hit on there that you don't know about, and now you spend all that time, it's superficial, he's going to heal, but you spent all this time destroying your hunting area, searching for it, trying to find it with no option of recovery because he's not dead. And then the next worst one is he is dead, but you still searched everywhere and you couldn't find it. You lost a deer, he died, and you destroyed your entire property. That's the worst case there is. So it's important to understand the reality of keeping your shots close. We can only do so much as hunters to try to not guarantee, but improve our odds of success. Getting close is number one. Number two, pick the right shot angles. Do not take stupid shot angles. High percentage shots only. Stick to those. That's another very, very big one. And then the other one is learn how to track these animals and give it the time. Far too often I see people half-ass this stuff, all right? You cannot go out there, you cannot search for an animal for 30 minutes and think you gave it its due diligence. It doesn't work that way. Okay, you give it everything you got. I'll give you an example recently. Now, we didn't find this one, but we didn't find it because it didn't die. That's got to be the case. But a friend of mine, hog hunting, just shot a hog. A couple of us were out there, killed hogs, but one of the people that's with us shot a hog and couldn't find it, okay? And then, so I was packing my hog out, got that back, got that in the cooler, found out that he had shot a hog. Hey, you need help, let me know. He's like, I'm looking for it right now. And then about an hour later, I checked back. I'm like, you having any luck? He's like, no, now it's getting tricky. I'm like, well, I'm on my way. Shoot me a pin where you are. I'm on my way. He said, okay, these other two guys, they're on their way to come help too. I said, fantastic. 4 of us went out there and we grid searched and checked everything that we could, and we covered tremendous ground where we could see each other's feet, and we all gave up all of our hunting time to help him find that without question. It never was a second thought in our minds that, oh, we should be hunting. We did it, and we worked that as hard as we could, as long as we could, until the guy who actually was the one that shot and lost that finally said, we're calling it because we've covered way too much ground and he's got to be alive or we would have found him in here. There's no possible way it was a lethal hit or he would be in this area. And we searched a ton of area. But you give it everything you got and you learn the different techniques if the blood doesn't work and how to track. Spend some time learning to track animals. But on top of that, know how to know based on where the hit location is, how long you need to give them, how to work them, different variables. If you go pushing a gut shot animal too early, then he's going to run out. He's going to get that second burst of energy, that adrenaline rush, and he's going to just run, and he's going to go and go and go, and you may never find him again. This stuff happens too often. So put the time in to learn the proper methods of tracking. Get friends to help you. Get people out there to help you. I really thought we were going to find that at Hog, but I realized pretty quick in that, we were covering a lot of ground as 4 guys working that all know what we're doing, and we all know how to grid search. We are using our Onyx and our breadcrumb. We knew what we were doing, and we covered massive amounts of area. And if he's not laying in there, then we know that he didn't die. He's not done. Okay, it's just not that. Or it could have been a situation where he may die later on, a day later or two, but it was not a lethal hit that we could find him in. And we searched everything we had access to. Just the way it is. So sometimes that things happen, but learning those skills are very important. They're going to really make a difference for you, rather than just giving it 30 minutes and see if you can find him. It doesn't work. It should be hours and hours of searching. Like I said, if you make a bad hit on a deer, your attitude should be, you shoot and boom, and it's a gut shot deer or something like that, or a high hit. Your attitude is automatically, if you're respectful and ethical about this stuff, your attitude is, this is going to turn into a long night, and this is going to be a lot of area covered, and this is going to be miserable. And if you can get help, get the help. Okay, 2 eyes are better than 1, 3 eyes are better than 2, 4 are better than 3. Get the people out there. Well, I don't want to destroy my hunting area. It's not the hunting area doesn't matter as much as the deer does. No offense, I'm sorry, but find a deer. Forget destroying your hunting area. You're going to destroy it anyway, and it's just not. It's not right to not give it everything you got. And usually, I can't tell you how many times you're like, this may not work out. This might not be good. And then you find it because you gave it that extra effort. So that matters tremendously. Huge factors for that. Okay, you got to do that. And then now, the other thing that's important, you got to understand, like I said, between the misses and the wounds, is you will not go through your career without having these. Okay, and the more you do it, the more it's going to be, and they're also animal dependent. Okay, bear die really fast and really easy. Bears die super easy. Okay, big bucks die really quick and easy. Okay, they do. They just die. From my experience, the bigger a buck is, the easier it is to kill him, to put him on the ground. Okay, even on hits that are kind of marginal, they just don't tolerate it very well. Button bucks, yearlings, they're like little stamina monkeys. I mean, they got the energy, and I can't tell you how many times I've been part of, and had it happen to me, where it's been a 1 lung hit on a button buck or a spike or a little deer like that or a small doe, and you just can't find them. They go forever. They just have the energy and the stamina to do it. Hogs are another one. A hog is by far the toughest animal I have ever hunted in my entire life when it comes to sheer will to live and ruthlessness to not go down. I mean, hogs are by far the toughest animal I have ever hunted in my entire life, and they are just built like little tanks, and they can just tolerate it and take it, and they don't even care. Okay, you cannot believe how tough it is to put a hog down, and their vitals are so small, and they are so well protected behind bone structure that they are a very tough animal to get. But good news with them is either they survive it or they don't. Usually they're not that bad to find if they're dead. But this is a reality of hunting, okay? This is a reality. And your friend that says, I've never wounded a deer in my entire life, or I've never missed a deer in my entire life, then he's probably killed like 4, okay? That's probably all he's done. Because once you start getting into the 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 100, you start getting these numbers, the reality is there, okay? The numbers stack against you. Like I said, it's pretty easy. I mean, if you only killed 1 deer and you killed it, you got a 100% rate. Okay, and if you only did, if you had 10 deer and you only lost 1, you got a 90% rate. Okay, you see what I'm getting at here, but the numbers as it changes go up. When you got 30 under your belt and you've lost 5, that number changes. Then it's a reality of it. Things start to matter. Okay, when I say lost, hit, or missed over the top of them, like I said, I'm running a 25% miss rate. Let that sink in. That's pretty crazy when you actually think about the reality of that number. It's insane. But when you start getting 25%, like if I missed 1 out of 4, that's not too bad. But things start to change for you when the numbers start changing. You start putting 300 animals on the ground, you're going to start missing some animals. You're going to start wounding some animals. Things are a reality. Hopefully these tips not only let you know what to do and how to kind of keep those from happening or tone it down how much it does happen, better odds of how to find them, and then most importantly, learn to shake it off. 1.5 million deer are killed by cars. They are left to rot on the side of the road with nothing there. Your job as a hunter is to do everything you possibly can to recover the animals that you harvest. We do that. If you're somebody that doesn't, I have no respect for you. Give it every single thing you got. Try to find that animal. If you do, find it, fantastic. If you don't, you have to shake it off. You have to walk away from it, okay? You have to stop thinking about it and be ready for the next time. That can be very hard to do because you're psyched out, okay? When you miss an animal, the next animal you shoot at, the only thing running through your head is the fact that you missed the last one. I don't care if it's been 2 days, 2 hours, or 2 weeks later. It's the only thing rolling through your head is the fact that last time you tried this, you missed. Same thing happens when you wound one and you don't find it. Only thing going through your head on your next shot is that wound, and that's going to make things very complicated during that shot, make it twice as hard to pull the shot off right, okay? And it's not uncommon for misses to come in series of threes. Miss one, then you psyched out on the next one, you miss that one, then because you're really pissed off now and psyched out, you missed the next one. Finally, then you go, okay, either I got to get my crap in order, or this is it, or you just stop caring. You're like, I don't even know if I'm going to hit it anyway with the way my track record is, and you do it, and then you get back on track. Okay, these things are the reality of it for people that hunt a lot. It will take time to get to that, but when you do, you will see what we're talking about here. So understand this. Let this stuff be there for you. Give it everything you got. And then whatever the outcome, whether it's a deer coming home and going in the freezer or you didn't find it, shake it off and start the next day or the next hunt exactly from scratch. Go back to normal as best you can and just move on. It happens. At least when an animal dies in the woods because you didn't recover it, it's fully consumed and every part of that animal goes right back to nature. Every single piece. 1.5 million deer a year are left to rot on the sides of the road and just sit there and disintegrate in the sun and the heat. At least in the woods, everything around benefits it. Even the earth benefits from it, from the ground, okay? Everything about it benefits. So it's not a horrible loss. It just sucks for you if you were the one that caused it to happen. Okay, it is a reality of it. Hopefully this video gives you some insight and some things to think about when your season's getting ready to roll around here, and let that be there. It is what it is. And for those that think, well, traditional bow hunters shouldn't be doing it because they wound more animals, statistically they do not. And like I said, every traditional bow hunter in my circle, they do everything in their power, more so than any other type of hunter I've ever met, to keep their ranges close, their shot percentages high, make everything as ethical as possible, and give 120% every chance they can to not only recover the animals, but to also help anybody else that needs it. So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And that's all that the universe can ask from us as hunters, is for us to be as good about it as we possibly can. So thanks for watching.